This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hi Suresh, hi Lakshmi, hi Indu. Yeah. So hi to everyone. We just go to Mulesoft Introduction and today our demo class, right? So just let me give you my quick intro about myself and how much experience do you have. I'm working and when I was giving trainings. And later on, please, you just try to tell about where you are, at least which domain you are working or anything background you know about this Mulesoft or not, so that it would be easier for me to just go whether I need to stress on one topic or whether I need if you have Java background or these kind of things. So otherwise, if you don't have any kind of software background, so it would help me to just go with the next forwarding classes. Okay, so just coming to my intro, it was my name was Chandrika, and I was been working in Mulesoft from the past 5-6 years, and and that's it about me. So just Indu, why don't you start with yourself first? I guess Suresh, Suresh, some
Yeah,
background noise is coming.
this is Suresh. Actually, we three people haven't any IT experience. They
Okay.
two are fresh base in software, and I am working as an administrator for a corporate college.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we
Okay,
are we are quite new to IT.
okay, okay. Then that okay, that helps me a lot.
Right.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Thanks, Suresh, by taking the part of all three. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, just coming to this, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So now what so before I just move on with the things, right? We just wanted to for the first purpose, right? We do have some things like in software we do have some things like front end, middleware end, and back end. Okay, so what is this three segregations: front end, middleware, and backend? So when you see something on your screen, okay, something you're searching something on Google, okay, you're searching something on Google. That means you're able to see that XYZ. That means whatever you're able to see for front end, whatever you're writing the code for seeing on the screen and which is visible, that is nothing but your front end. Okay, and coming to the back end, right? Like every organization will maintain their back end databases, or it can be systems, it can be databases, it can be Salesforce, these kind of systems we do have. Okay, so for backend purpose. Okay, so what they do with backend things, they maintains information or they maintain the organization's data. It can be sensitive, non-sensitive, both the ways it can be categorized. But So backend we do have the data. Okay, so now what we need from front end to back end. Okay, so I'm searching something like okay, Mule for video, something on Google like this. So within fraction of seconds I'm getting multiple things on my screen, right? So I'm getting multiple things on my screen. That means that it is getting this information from backend. Okay, so from who did this part? Okay, that means nothing but your middleware is doing. Middleware in database, definitely it will not be stored in that kind of format. In database it might be stored in some other formats. In data type of formats, different formats it might have been stored. So from one format to other format, for transformation or for a conversion, or to take it from nothing but you can simply say as like your bus. Okay, what do bus do? Generally it carries from people one from one place to other place, and it will drop the people over there to their particular destinations, right? So in the same way, here also the middleware, what it does exactly is it will bring the front backend data and it will give to your front end. Okay, not only in one way, it can do in second way as well. Why? Because see, request and response. So we are giving some searching key Mule for video, right? If you're giving Mule for key means definitely it is now typing that, it is searching that particular key in your database. Okay, searching that particular key in your database. I mean, if request is going from your front end to back end. Okay, then what is happening? Response is coming from your back end to your front end. That means the mutual transformation or the mutual transfer of data is happening from by request from your front end to your back end via middle end. Okay, so you did you just understood what I was mentioning? So so that we can just go with the next things.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So what is the next step? So we'll not concentrate much on now as of middleware developer. Okay, Mulesoft is nothing but your middleware tool. Okay, which is most popular or recently trending nowadays. So now what it is doing from front end to back end, how the systems is, how it is going to transfer your data, or how it is going to communicate with your systems. Now I'm not going to distinguish that it is a front end, it is a back end. I'm just going to mention that this is one of the system, this is second system. Because front end we will have multiple things, like it can be your mobile, it can be your laptop, it can be your sensor screen on your car. So front end, these all the things can be possible. Back end, as I already said, you, it can be a mainframe, it can be your database, it can be your Salesforce. Anything can happen, right? So what we need here is, we need only the main part is your Mulesoft middleware, how it is interacting here. So we are going to learn it. So as we are learning it, what is a middleware and how Mule, why Mule was trending, before we learn what is Mule, we need to learn few key terms, right? Without those terms only, we are going to proceed with Mule. Without learning ABC, we should not tell how to write the words or sentences. We need to learn few key terms before we just know what is the Mule ESB. Okay. So first, and that in that process, first and foremostly, the main keyword in Mule we need to learn is what is an API. Okay, so API, A stands for your application, P stands for your programming, I stands for your interface. So nothing but, as I already mentioned you, like okay, you're trying to check your weather app on how it was detecting it. It was detecting that particular weather, this much humidity is there, the temperature was sunny. So this kind of weather forecasting, it was giving you and throwing you the response back, right? So these are all nothing but your APIs. Okay, nothing but your things. So what it is doing, it is allowing your two applications in that, means front end and back end, or it can be back end and front end. So now onwards, as I already said, you will talk like application systems only instead of back end and front end using this terminology more. We'll just talk like applications or systems. So here, API is nothing but software intermediary. It allows you two applications each other. Okay. You have an example like your Facebook, instant message, or you check with your phone. Okay, daily whatever your activities you're trying to do on your mobile or are trying to do on your things, most things are done by you by using APIs. You can say an example of Uber also. So these are all using APIs. Okay. So next coming to what is a web service. Okay, so here API, when you're trying to write or when you're trying to develop an API, you don't have any set of standards or rules. Like in web service, you need to follow these particular protocols are nothing but your rules. Okay, so collection of your open rules and standards, how you need to perform, how you need to define. Like if I have 5 parameters, after first parameter, definitely second parameter only should come. Third parameter should not come in the second place. That means the order was very much important, and the name capitalization of smaller. So this was also very much important. Suresh, can you please go on mute? Yeah, thank you. So these kind of things, right? So which are widely open for between the systems or applications for exchanging the data purpose. So we develop a web service. So different types of web services we do have. We have a SOAP web service. We do have a REST web service. So we will discuss about these SOAP and REST in detail in next classes. Just will not try to indulge more and more technical terms in today's class. Only we'll just go with the very basic terminology. Okay, so you already mentioned that this API was also used for allowing two applications to talk to each other, and web service is also used to exchange your data, nothing but you're talking to both the systems and applications. Then what is the exact difference between the API and your web service? So here in your API, we don't have certain rules or standards. It is a free software to use. It is a free thing. You how you want it to write, you can write it in your own way. Whereas a web service, we do have a collection of open protocols and standards. That means it is a strict format where you need to follow that kind of thing only. So now, as I've already mentioned you, difference, first major difference and second difference, major difference I can tell you is, so when you need to access some URL, okay, the URL, let it start with http colon double slash something www.google.com. That means that if you're trying to access that URL without security purpose, okay, so see, we do have in URLs two kinds. One is HTTP and other one is a HTTPS. So HTTP nothing but it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, whereas HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocols, which is a secured one. Okay, so that means that if you are trying to secure, okay, see, if you wanted to make your home secure, what you'll do, you'll just keep a key and you'll go to open someone, right? Definitely he needs a lock and go. So definitely it's other person, they wanted to come and just enter into your home, they need a key to open, right? In the same way, if any URL is secured URL, you need to definitely give you a username and password to open that your account or your secured access. Like your Gmail, you definitely you need to give your username and password to log in that, right? So that means that you do have some things like HTTP protocol, simple google.com. It's not a secured one. HTTP, it will be working. So that means that we do have protocols like HTTP and HTTPS. For all URLs, the URLs can be considered, or I can say you categorized into two ways, HTTP and HTTPS. So now what I was mentioning, right? So the web service only supports only the HTTP protocol, whereas your API, it will be supporting both HTTP and as well as HTTPS protocol as well. So from here, I can mention you, or I can clearly tell you one point, right? As web service HTTP, API HTTP plus HTTPS. So when API is able to do your web service thing as well, why you go for web services? If you just do API, that will, which with HTTP, it is a web service. API with HTTPS, it is an API, right? So with this, I can infer one point, right? All web services are APIs, because all web services HTTP protocols that can be done by APIs. But all APIs are not web services. Why? Because APIs will consist of both HTTP and HTTPS. So HTTPS cannot be done by web services. So that was the reason you can say that all APIs are not web services. Okay, so did you understand what is an API, what is a web service, and what exactly difference between API and web service, and how much API was advantageous over your web service? Any doubts till these 3 or 4 slides?
No, no. No, ma'am.
Too fast, or I'm going too slow? How you want me to go for the next slides?
Yeah,
Okay,
please go
this
for next
space,
slide.
yeah. So this space was, I mean, this speed was okay, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So now we learned what is an API and how much API was an advantageous over your web service. Okay. Now what exactly is Mule ESB? ESB stands for your Enterprise Service Bus. Okay. So what exactly Mule will do? It will develop your APIs. Okay. So we were mentioning that API will do this. It will use it to transform data from one format to other format. But who develops it? I mean, which is the tool you use to develop, or which is the tool you use to design your APIs? It is nothing but your Mule ESP. Okay. So Mule is nothing but your runtime engine of any point platform. We do have one IDE, integrated development enterprise kit. Okay. We do have one collaborated platform, nothing but your anypoint platform. You need to have an account in anypoint platform to continue with Mule, which is a free account, and also Mule was a open source software which we can download from net easily. It's not a licensed product. Okay, and this is a lightweight Java based ESB. Okay, it is a Java based tool. It's not any other tools like it's not it, and also the advantageous part and why it was trending more and more, and why people were back off this nowadays. Why? Because it was how I can say you. So Mule, you don't need to code much. You don't need to write so many lines of code. How do you write in your Java? How do you write in your C++, Python? So these kind of languages. So what you need to do? So here predefined, we do have some connectors, some mapping tools already. It is, we just want it to drag and drop that particular connector, and we need to just write the minimum configuration. Okay, so how it will be, like if I wanted to insert some, I need to connect to one database. We will have already database connectors. 5 connectors we'll have for database, like select, insert, update, and upsert, and delete. So these all 5 will have already the connectors. We just need to drag and drop that particular connector to the Mule tool, and then we just need to write like what is the database name, what is the username, password. Only that 5 details I need to give in those particular blocks. Okay, so apart from that, nothing else you need to give it. Only the most, you don't need to write in instead of in your Java. How do you write if you wanted to establish a connection, right? How do you write generally? I just want we whatever we'll be doing is we'll take a Java tool, right? We'll take a write a JDBC connection, driver connection. We'll try to connect to database. Then what is the operation for that? We'll write 2-3 lines, and then what is our field names? We'll write 3-4 lines. So these much of 20 to 25 lines of code we are not going to write. Already this particular code is written predefinedly in Mule already for every connector. You need to connect to Amazon, you need to connect to Facebook, you need to connect to Salesforce. For every connector you mentioned, all the connectors were present in Mulesoft. So you just need to drag and drop that particular connector, and you just need to give the particular detail. Okay, so let me just show you so that it will be very much easier for you. Let me take a very simple example for here. So right side, whatever you have, so this is your code. So here you won't be writing anything. Here all the thing will be mapping kind of thing. Whatever the connector, whatever the tool you need, you can search over here in your search bar. All the connectors will be present over here in your various distinguished sections. If you don't have any in the favorites, you can add your modules where you can add your those particular connectors as well. Okay, so what I can do here now, if I wanted to read particular file. Okay, so if here now if I'm what I wanted to do here, I wanted to read this particular Mulesoft demo. So what I'll be going here, I'll just go to this particular link and I'll open this file and I'll read that content in this, right? So similarly, if you wanted to do same thing through Mule, okay, you need to just type file. So you need to open a file, right? I mean, you need to read a file. So in your file, you will have read operation. So what you need to do here, you just need to drag and drop that particular connector and place it over here. Okay. And once you keep it a read thing, it will only ask you what are the configurations required. I mean to say, what are the connector configuration? What is compulsory parameter? Okay, what are the mandatory parameters? It will show you that red mark. So here file path. Okay, you are asking me to read a file. Okay, but what is the file path? So here, if I am going to give from here to here slash, I need to give the name of the file as well. So here, if I'm going to give in this way, it would be sufficient. Okay, so in this way, if you're just trying to save this particular thing, in this way you're trying to read a file. Okay, so see how much easier it was. Now it was a very simple operation. Now it was very easy. It was looking like, but for any kind of complex things also it was simple. So you just need to drag and drop your connectors and you need to give the connector configurations. It's very small part of coding will be there in one of the connector transformation logics. You need to filter your data. You need to route the data into different kind of sections. So these kind of things, if you wanted to route it, or you need to do it, right? At that particular time of period, you need to write that particular code only in that particular connector. Apart from that, all other connectors, you just needs to give this particular basic configuration and that would be sufficient. So this is your Mule Anypoint Studio tool. This you can download easily from your what you can say your net. Okay, so this is how the Mule ESB works. So this was based on Java. So you can ask me question how this is based on Java. So whatever the code predefined, it was written in Java, and we are not at all bothered about that. We need to just know that it was a Java Spring based ESB tool, and it is allowing the developers to connect applications together quickly and easily, enabling them to exchange data via APIs. Okay, so you got to know what is a Mule ESB and how we are trying to develop APIs and how exchange data is happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so next one, okay, we saw what is Mule and what we are going to do in Mule, right? But why Mule training currently? Why we are giving that importance to Mule? One main point, like coding was not much there. It was for developers perspective, right? But coming to organization people, we already have people who are there coding, right? We already have from many ages who are doing coding. Then why now, if coming to Mule, if without coding, why this was much popular? The main reason it was not popular, why? Because the approach or the architecture was different. It was not that the coding was issue, but it was very advantageous for developers perspective. But for organization perspective, that was not the reason. It was the approach or the architecture, how the organization is following. Okay, so before Mule come into existence, we do have a P2P approach, how the front end and back end are connecting. What is a P2P approach? P2P is nothing but your point to point approach. Okay. So what is this P2P or point-to-point approach? So now let's concentrate on this diagram more. So here, these all are your backend systems. It can be your databases, it can be your customized applications, it can be your packaged applications, right? So these three, nothing but your, I'm thinking like here, these are my backend systems. And now my front end systems like social media, it can be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything you're able to see, right? The comments, the chat section, everything. And mobility and devices, it can be your laptop, it can be your iPad, it can be your sensor, car, music. So you're able to see the temperatures. These are all your mobility devices which are able to move. And your cloud platforms like your Google, your Windows account, or like your SaaS applications, right? Your Salesforce applications. So these are all are my front end applications. Okay. So what is this point to point? So in the name itself, the approach, how it was maintaining is, so here I'm having this database, nothing but here this connected to this particular mobility device, and again this is connected to social media, and this is connected to sales. That means if I this every one of the particular connector, every one of the particular integrator is having integration with all other things, right? So you can see how messy is this particular connections. If I wanted to remove one of the connection, okay, I'm feeling that okay, this database was hacked by some people, some hacker has hacked this database and he has got this information, but this is already connected to this mobility, social, everything. He have a not have, he will definitely have chance that he can access these particular data. That means the entire system is going to get collapsed if only one system is getting hacked, right? If any one system gets damaged or any one system gets corrupted, all the entire system will be getting issue. And also I'm trying to add one more new system. I'm trying to add one. Okay, now I have SAP, Oracle, IBM. I need to add one more Oracle system. If I'm trying to add one more Oracle system to my backend in an organization, from this Oracle, I need to develop these 5 connections, these. That means I need to develop again a one-to-one connection for all the existing applications. See, if you're just connecting, it's not enough, right? You need to test again the connection. So you need to test this, and everything. And also you need to test the existing connections that it did not get affected or any kind of disturbance, right? So that means that here, if you're trying to add any new change, or if you're trying to upgrade your API, you're trying to upgrade your web service, how it is happening? It will take very high time, and it was by because you're trying to establish all new connections and you're trying to test each and every connection. That means when it goes to production, it means the time to market will be very much high and risk also very much high. As I already said, you one changed, everything will be affected. And also this system was very much messier, maintenance issues will be there and very much hard to change as well. So this is the approach till Mule came into existence. This P2P approach was other than this, no other approach was there, okay, in organization. So this P2P approach was the drawback. So now when we come to our Mule, right? So this API-led connectivity is the architecture which Mulesoft is following. Okay, so what is this API-led connectivity? So APIs, we discussed what is an API. So through APIs, we are trying to connect to the front end and back end. We already mentioned that API is nothing but here, it is trying to connect two systems and exchange the data between these two particular systems, right? So now what is we are doing in API-led connectivity? So here now you can see here, so these are my backend systems, right? Now, so these are my backend systems, my applications, legacy systems, where databases, files, mainframes, SaaS apps, all this will be my backend systems. And now consider these are my front-end systems, your mobile, your user, or the particular buildings, or your particular laptop or desktop. So these are nothing but your front-end screen perspective systems, right? So now what I'm going to do here, now I'm categorizing, or while developing APIs itself, I'll categorize APIs into 3 types. Okay, so the first type will be my system APIs, The second type will be my process APIs. My third type will be experience APIs. Okay, so now the system APIs, process APIs, and experience APIs, right? So the system APIs, so what I'll be doing here. So the system APIs is nothing but I'll be connecting to uh, the systems, nothing but my backend systems. Here system indicates the backend system every time. So here I'll develop, so how many backends were present here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 backend systems were present in this particular organization. Okay, so now I'll try to develop 7 system APIs. So one for this, and 7 system APIs I'll develop. So what does this system APIs will just have? It will not have any kind of logic. It will not have any kind of information. It just have the connectivity to this particular system. So what happens here, whatever the SaaS API, so that particular information, you're basically trying to create a replica of that particular system API. Okay, you're trying to create a duplicate version of these particular things. Here one more layer, that's it. And what is my process APIs? The next most top layer is process APIs. So what we are going to do in process APIs, so the name itself indicating we are going to do the entire I'm sorry, so we are going to have the entire process over here. So what is meant by process? So now let me tell you, I'm telling that I do have two systems, system A and system B, and API I'm developing. System A is sending some data. I need to store that particular data in system B. But here, while storing, I don't need to store entire data. I need to filter some part of the data. So the filtering is nothing but your process, right? And also when I wanted to do it, I wanted to check if else conditions. If this is the happen, then I need to add this value, else I need to add some other value. Then that is nothing but your logic. So nothing but your process. So all these kind of processes, okay, you're trying to develop process APIs. But what is the input for it? I mean, what is the input where it will take? It will take is going to take from system APIs. It is not going to hit your these systems anymore. Only one connection you are doing, and that's it. So everything is having one connection. Unless like this, for everything you're having hundreds of connections. Here only one connection, as we are developing one system APIs. And with this system APIs already we do have data. Why we wanted to again connect to these particular systems? We will definitely just connect to system APIs, and from here I'm going to get my information. Okay, from this database I will have one system API. From this database system API I'll process my API. And experience API, what it was. Okay, so yeah, simple example I can say, any one of the web page you are trying to access or you're trying to verify on your mobile, it will show you a different version. If you want, if you see on your laptop, it will show you a different version. That was a reason in your mobile web settings, right? Like a Chrome settings, so these things you will get an option like it was something like your desktop mode. Okay, so that means it will be in a full mode. Everything how you're able to see in desktop, you can see the same way in the your mobile phone as well, right? In the same way you can do in this way as well. So now how you will be working now, so you can simply just work on this particular thing. So now I want in this one version and here one version. That means experience, you experience APIs, nothing but it was purposefully built APIs for your user experience, right? User experience, that means here one particular thing, here one particular thing. So here he might need in format of XML, here you might need in the format of text, only string. So that means 2-3 different kind of versions you need to have it, right? So now what I want, but this data, processed data was same, the filtered data was same, but only giving to different kind of users will be different. So for mobile I might give in, so the experience APIs you don't have any kind of a process, you don't have any kind of system connection. You simply just transform it in format of XML and give it over here, transform in format of JSON or string or Java and give it over here. So experience APIs is this way. So now one more thing. So system APIs, as we have a sensitive information of the organization. Okay, we do have system sensitive information of the organization. We should not expose this system APIs to public use. If they wanted to check, okay, for this they need to connect, should not connect to directly system APIs, because it connects to their backend systems, nothing but their sensitive information. We should not leak information. Process APIs, this also contains the logic or the formulas which organization is following to show the data, so this should not also be shown. So experience APIs was only the API which we are going to show or which we are going to expose for public use. Okay, so these were different kind of APIs. Now just let me take the disadvantages which we speak over P2P approach. Now what we saw, so hard to change, maintenance issue, high risk, time to market. So what, how these became advantages in this API connectivity. Okay, now here I'm trying to add one more system. Okay, so I'm trying to add one more database. So I'll just develop one system API, and process API will be same. The same logic I can use, same experience I can use already present. Only one system API I'm going to use, and only one connection I'm trying to make it. Apart from that, no other things was changing. So if I'm going to test this particular connection itself, I can release to production. Whereas here, I need to test from here to here, everywhere, right? So that means the time to market was very much less over here. And if I have something particular applications has been attacked by hacker, I'm going to remove this part, because already I have a connection over here, and already I have a duplicate version or replica of system API over here. I don't, this won't get affect my entire system. So risk was also very much less, and now you can also see maintenance issue, it was very much less, as everything was segregated properly. If any issue comes over there, we can sort out the issue and we can check only that particular connector instead of going or digging entire thing. Okay, and it is hard to change. We already saw how it was very much easier. So this was the Mule architecture, how you will be developing your APIs in your API-led connectivity architecture, and then how you will be working on the things on in the Mulesoft rather than P2P approaches. Okay, so any doubts still here? You understood, or you want me to repeat any point
No doubt.
again?
No.
Okay. All are clear? Okay, so coming to the next topic. Okay, so what is this? This is called a Mule life cycle or an API life cycle. Okay, so some or other way we'll be pronouncing API, Mule, everything is same here. Now you understood, right? How what is an API, and what Mule is nothing but you're trying to develop APIs. So here, so don't get confused with the terminology anymore. Now you just got the basic key points, how Mule is following, why Mule trending, and what is an API, what is a web service, what were the differences, and what here exactly why only APIs are being developed in Mule. Okay, so now what is this life cycle? So we need to come from the inner circle. Okay, this is the first most in part of my Mule life cycle, and this is my second part, and this is my third or the last part. Okay, so first and foremostly we need to do this part first. So what we are going to do over here, so here what I am going to do here is I need to first and foremostly design my API. Okay, so what is meant by designing? So here we do have, like, okay, let me say an example. So I have a requirement, like I need to read some parameters from file, and I need to insert the same parameters into the database. Okay, so now what was my next question? It will be like, what are the parameters which I need to be read from file? Okay, what are the parameters which I need to read from file? Okay, I can't read everything and I can't read all parameters, right? Definitely I need to know what were the certain parameters which I need to read from file. So here nothing but, okay, if I'm seeing some account information, okay, I'm try to order an Amazon thing, and I'll definitely have my order number, I'll definitely have my tracking ID, my user information, first name, my last name, and my address. These particular information I might do have it in a file, but database I don't need all these things. that means the response, okay, I'm trying to insert it, definitely the response should come like it has been inserted successfully or any duplicate record has been present. These kind of informations, responses, success response and error response. So before we develop any kind of thing, these requirements, these designing was very much important. If you're trying to do designing, you need to give, you are getting the request from your onshore on site and you're trying to get the requirements from your client, okay, most preferably, okay, client, and the requirements you're trying to frame it and you're designing your API that these were my requests, these were my response, and okay, success response, error response, failure response, how many things, how many requests might come per day. So these all kind of requests, these all kind of requirements. Okay, security, coming to security, so it, how much secure it was, whether we need to use username and password or whether we need to use token. So these are all these kind of things you need to first and foremostly by before developing your API in Mule. First step will be any API. It can be a system, it can be your process, it can be your experience. The design phase was very much important. So this was your design you will be doing. Design and simulation is more or less same. And then coming to your having, once you have written your design, nothing but your, you will be designed in RAML, RAML. It's nothing but your RESTful API modeling language. In that particular language you will write it. It's not, you don't even get to fear what was that. It will be very simple. It can be completed in 2 classes. That will be very simple to write. It will be a human readable format. It's not like you write your multiple lines of code. It was simply everything was like there. Also you'll come suggestions, you just needs to select those suggestions and you need to give the values by giving the selected values only there also the same way. Okay, so once you have selected and designed and once you have framed your RAML, okay, then what you will be doing, you need to take your feedback from your onshore or from your co-Mule developers or your organization. You need to take the feedback, and apart from their feedback, you need to validate the API design is working or not. You can do it by using a mock URL, by just giving the, you design your RAML. Then if you're trying to test it, then for that particular request, whether we are getting the same response or not, we can get it. Once we have validated, that means our RAML is ready. Nothing but your API specification. API specification example was only RAML, and the RAML was the most extensively used one. Once you have got your API specification, okay, RAML was very much ready. Then what you can do, you can build your API. Okay, you can build your API, you can start developing your API in your Mule. How I have shown you palette connectors, you just take them and map them, you'll build it. And now once you have done this, then the next part is nothing but your testing of your API, whether my API was working fine and whether it was reading the file or not. So test it. How you'll be testing in Mule, right? The testing, but that means that now the service with API, first only API specification, the design was ready. Now my API was ready. Okay, so my API was ready. Next, how you will be doing? Now you are going to secure the API. That means, but you're trying to secure. That means that I mentioned that the advantage more over web service in that to APIs is nothing but it is a security, HTTPS. So here, how you will secure that, whether it was a UPI username, a password, or in which kind of security mechanism you're going to follow, that one. And then you're trying to deploy it. Okay, where you're trying to deploy it. So directly you can deploy into production, right? You'll have multiple environments before you just deploy to production. We do have different phases of environments. It can be your developer thing, and then your salt regression, then your performance, and then to production. So code will be same, you just deploy to environments. And once you deploy to your environments, you okay, you can say that okay, I deployed, my work is done. No, you need to monitor whether how requests are coming, how it is behaving, any issue is there, then you need to troubleshoot, and then you need to manage your API as well accordingly. What is meant by managing? So you felt that okay, per day one request only will come, and you have written in that way only code. But when you have seen that, you are feeling that okay, per day I am getting 5-6 requests, then your API might not work. Then you, how you need to manage, you need to add policy. Okay, these are all the things, only just for naming purpose I was mentioning you. We'll go detailedly in next coming classes. So what are the policies? Policies is nothing but you'll have multiple policies in you. You just need to select the policy from your drop down, and you just need to apply that particular policy to your API. Okay, so when I'm trying to explain, or when I'm trying to apply that particular policy to that particular API, what it is going to do? It is just going to take that particular it is I mean, if I have one policy like a rate limiting, that means it is going to limit the number of requests which are hit per one day, or which are hit per second, it's hit per minute. How many times you wanted to limit, that many times it will limit it. Okay, so now what it is going to do, it is going to perform like, it is going to stop those requests. Okay, so I have, okay, my ability, I developed API for only 3 requests, so per day 5 6 are coming, right? So first request, when I'm applying the policy, first request when it is hit to my API, it will success. Second request, it was hit to my API, it is success. Third will hit and it will get success. But when it will come to fourth, it will just throw an error without giving the responses back. It will throw an error saying that the rate limit has been exceeded. Okay, so in this way, this error will be thrown. So now you can say that this is tested very well at every phase of your thing. API specification is done, you're validating by N. API is done, you're validating at N. Secure, deploy, managing trouble. Here also any issue troubleshooting and managing and testing it. And so that means it is a very well tested APIs. It when you are developing an API, and you will not face much issues or much kind of difficulties when it go to your production. So this is how the API life cycle will be, whether it can be system, it can be your process, it can be your experience. Okay, so any doubts in this particular life cycle? If you want me to explain one more time also, I'll be fine. But please understand these phases very much clearly. Because in the coming classes, the schedule also will be same way. First, we'll be see how you'll be designing, and then building, testing, and then we'll go in this particular format only. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
As of now, it is
No,
very
ma'am.
clear.
You're saying something. Someone is saying Indu or Lakshmi. Yeah, thanks, Suresh. Indu or Lakshmi. So, are you saying something?
No, no, ma'am. No doubts.
Let me just So let me just go through the schedule. So what we are going to come back in next classes, right? So what we are going to tell in the next classes is nothing but firstly how we are going to design RAML will take 2 classes, and feedback validating this can be completed. This entire cycle can be completed in 2.5 classes. Okay. Then this building phase itself, I mean, we'll be trying to check all the connectors, right? Every connector, 90 to 95% connectors will try to cover each and every connector. How do you connect to database, Salesforce, Amazon component, or your API kit, or how you just try to work on the particular for each subflow flow, all these particular connectors, right? So this particular phase is going to take me lot of time. It can take 10 to 11 classes mostly. And testing, how do you test your API, you'll take 1 to 1.5 class. And then security policies, deploying, monitor, troubleshoot, not more than everything one class. So basically this was entirely was a 30 days course actually. So this is how the Mule will just go phase by phase. If we don't have any doubts, right, we can just wind up over here. I just don't wanted to dig so much information today itself, because everything we need to start it in a fresh way. I just need to know you the keywords and these things, only the brief introduction of Mule for today. If the things remaining other things, we can continue in the next classes.
It's okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This
You're saying
conference
something,
will now
Suresh?
be recorded.
Really a wonderful session. It is very clear for us.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Suresh.